Two mega powers meeting here tonight.
The mega powers, brother.
The mega, yeah, the mega, yeah, the mega powers, yeah. Mega powers, yeah.
Hello, wrestling fans. This is DJ Magic J with the Hip Hop Original Scandoos, and we are the Mega Powers TV.
Yeah.
You lost. You lost.
Hey, man, joining us for episode number 11. We have a very special guest, live and direct from the great state of Florida. We're not hating, even though we're in sub-zero weather out in London. You know, definitely amazing to have you on board, brother. I want you to get out your mega power handshake, man, and thank you for joining us on the Mega Powers. The one and only.
Appreciate having me.
Awesome, bro. So the first question we always ask on this show, man, is Wiso, how did you find your way into wrestling? Where did it begin?
I was thinking about that recently, actually. My first memories, so I'm an Army brat. I was born in Germany. I lived there till about second grade. And in Germany, we didn't have regular cable. We had one channel that was English. And every year they would have the pay-per-views, but from the year before. So I'd always watch, like, WrestleMania from the year before, and you kind of be a year behind. And just started probably first grade. What was that? I'm aging myself. 91 probably is when I started. First memories, Doink the Clown, Razor Ramon, Diesel. I was a big Yokozuna fan. And then just gradually, once got into the Attitude Era, just blew up from there and got all into it once I moved back to the States.
So who would you say was like your favorite wrestler at the time?
Starting off as a kid, Doink the Clown, loved Doink, Yokozuna. Then once we got Razor Ramon's a big one. And then once we got into the Attitude Era, Stone Cold, The Rock, I mean, those two guys are probably the greatest of all time right there.
Oh, man. And was there any particular matches or pay-per-view that really stood out for you at the time, like which blew your mind or something like that?
Stone Cold, Bret Hart, WrestleMania 13. I think everybody says that. Mankind, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell. The first one, even Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell. What was it? Bad Blood, where Kane came out and ripped the cage off. I mean, those are just still stand out, still awesome matches to this day. And then once you get going into it, TLC matches, Dudley's, Hardy's, Edge and Christian, those are always bangers.
Man, so you was more into the hardcore stuff than let's say the catch can technical wrestling.
And I was also huge into ECW as well. 1 in the morning, Sun Sports on Saturday nights, RVD, Sabu, all those guys. I mean, that stuff really blew my mind as growing up back in those days.
Yeah, man.
So is there any wrestling matches you've been to, like, in your state or in other states to follow your favorite, wrestling brand?
So I used to go to Impact back in the day, TNA. It's at Universal Studios. I remember when Christian won his first title there. I was there for that. WrestleMania, Ric Flair's last match in Orlando, I was there for that one. And then Undertaker's supposed last match at the next WrestleMania that was in Orlando too. Those are the three that really stick out.
Man. You mentioned something that's very near and dear to my heart, man. That's Extreme Championship Wrestling. I know personally I was a massive fan, man. That's the hustle to get my hands on the video VCR recordings of the matches, like pre-internet days. I mean, what drew you into ECW at the time?
I mean, it's the action. I mean, at that time, I never seen anyone going through tables or flaming tables or RVD's Van Daminator with Bill Alfonso holding the chair with the kick to the face. Jumping out of the ring into the crowd, Bam Bam threw Spike Dudley into the crowd. What was it? Living Dangerously or Guilty as Charged? Taz versus Bam Bam. Suplex him into the crowd over the railing and then through the ring. I mean, that at that time, nothing like that was going on.
Yeah.
So what do you think about, like, existing companies that has took the baton and of ECW, because there's a couple companies out there what has took the title of being Extreme now?
Yeah. First and foremost, I'm not against stealing. You still the good stuff. As long as you're able to make it good for yourself, I'm all for it. I'm not really into the super extreme stuff. Like, sometimes I see these guys jump 20 feet in the air, barely land on the table in front of like 50 people. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you kill yourself for no reason? Some of the light tube stuff is like Moxley, love Moxley, but bleeding every time, going crazy every time. It kind of takes away from those special events. Like ECW, you watch the whole card, it wasn't all craziness, hardcore jumping through tables. I mean, they had wrestling on one show, they had luchadors, they had, you know, technical wrestling, then they had the crazy stuff. It wasn't always all brawling, you know, blood everywhere.
Right, right, right. And that was the question I was going to ask you, man. At what point does it come too extreme, you know, that you can't enjoy it anymore? And you mentioned obviously Moxley and that crazy stunt he did, I think last year with the spikes in the top of his head.
Yeah.
Or Nick Gage with the pizza cutter to the face. You know, it's just like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I don't mind it when it's a special moment, when you do something special like that. But I said when you water it down and everybody's doing it, every match is all the same. Someone trying to top each other until someone ends up getting killed, I guess.
Right.
Because even in early episodes, you know, we spoke on when AEW came to London, and you know, we had who is it who stabbed himself in the head? Daniel Bryanson.
Oh no. That fan footage that caught CM Punk underneath the announce
CM
table.
Punk. Yeah, that's
bleeding.
it. CM Punk, yeah, there was a footage where CM Punk was underneath the announcer's table or a table, and he was just stabbing himself in his head. So what do you think about, you know, things like that getting leaked to show what really happens when it comes to the extreme side of wrestling?
Would it be like being able to show him doing that themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean at this point it's all out in the air like that. But like I said, I'm not into that super graphic stuff anymore. I mean, I was real big into it 13, 14, 15 years old when you never saw that stuff before. But as you get older, it's like, why? I mean, at what point, why, what do you get out of that? You know, to me, I can get the same thing out of something less crazy, like a dope suplex or something cool off the top rope instead of getting, you know, stabbed in the face like for no reason.
Yeah. And how did your appreciation for wrestling change when you first saw it live?
You know, it's funny is I just went to CCW's Coastal Championship Wrestling in Florida, ran by Gangrel runs it. First time really at a real live show like that, and you get so much more being there at a live show. It's hard, you know, especially with all the TV that's going on a week, to be able to watch it all the way through without fast forward here or there or being caught up doing something else while watching. But to be able to sit there live to see what's going on, you got to watch from beginning to end. You can't turn away. You can't look away. You're there, focused on what's going on. And there's so much more appreciation into the storytelling of the wrestling, because a lot of people don't realize just the story that goes into each match.
Right.
And it's way more appreciated seeing it live, seeing it from start to finish, seeing the crowd reaction, seeing what they do to keep the crowd going. No commercial breaks to kind of break up that monotony of it.
Yeah.
So the production as well, like you get to see how the real production works from early. Was you one of those guys who went there from early to see how everything was actually set up? Because I've never been to a proper wrestling match since I was a kid, but like I watched on YouTube and, you know, various different companies showing you, oh, this is how we set up the ring, this is how we prepare and stuff like that. So did you get the opportunity to see that, or was it just one of those ones that, okay, you went in, you saw the ambience of the arena, you saw how things were set up, like the lights in a certain place, and how was that feeling for you when you saw everything in play?
I've never been there at the beginning to watch it all unfold. First time I ever seen them set up a ring, I was like, holy shit, you know, pieces of board with basically a roll of carpet on top. Kind of blew my mind the first time I've seen that happen. First show I went to was a SmackDown in Connecticut. And I remember 14, 15 years old just being blown away at the scale of it, how big it was, how big the screen is, all the cameras, just the scaffolding, how much stuff was going on. It definitely is awe-inspiring when you see all that stuff going on and see how many people are involved in getting it going.
It's like going to a basketball game or a football game in America, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a spectacle, man. It's a spectacle.
So I got a question for you guys. Growing up, like the British Bulldog is, for example, do you guys absolutely love him, whether or not he was a heel or a face, like just because he was one of the biggest British guys over there? Or like, I was always curious about who you guys are big into.
I was definitely a very big British Bulldog fan at first. You know, when he was in his first run in the WWF, you know, when he used to adorn the Union Jack, that classic match with Bret Hitman Hart at SummerSlam, being absolutely disgusted that he lost the title like a couple months later to Shawn Michaels. You know, it's interesting that we used to think he was like the most muscular, like powerful person in in the federation at the time, only to find out obviously he's juiced up on steroids. So when he comes back and he's like half the size he was, and you know he's a heel, it didn't really have that connection with him anymore. So you know, I think nowadays I guess in retrospect, you have an appreciation for wrestlers like William Regal or Steven Regal, you know, and other people flying the flag for the UK. But in regards to British Bulldog in particular, in the early stages of his career, definitely.
Well, we sort of the same, because when I first knew about British Bulldog, I knew about British Bulldogs with, you know what I mean, him and Dynamite. You know what I mean, Dynamite Kid, and you know, sad to say, both of them are passed away, and Dynamite passed away over here. You know what I mean? You had a long going situation. So like even with me, like British Bulldog, his character came to me later on. I like the high flyers. I like the guys who like a Chris Benoit type of thing. You know, that's why I swayed to Dynamite Kid, because he was that motherfucker can do everything, man. He can fly off the ring, lick you in the head. He can do these crazy high fly. He was like Chris Benoit, Bret the Hitman Hart put in one. You get what I'm saying? You know, but you know, as what Scandu said, you know, later on in time, you know, he got the buzz. British Bulldog got the buzz, and he done his thing. And obviously, people like him paved the way for a lot of British wrestlers to come out of England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, you know what I mean, and go to America and do their thing. You know, even they had a British wrestler was still, I think he's still training people. You know, if you remember him, he was more in WCW, the black guy, and he used to wear all the paddings and stuff like that. And he used to take the piss out. He used to take the piss out of him. I forgot his name now, man. Forget his name now. But you know, like they got a fair share of British wrestlers, and to me, the uproster of wrestlers now from the UK, you know, is very good. And me personally, I was upset when they took away NXT UK, because NXT UK helped pave the way for UK wrestlers gathering. You know, we got Progress and we got all these other independent companies. So for people like British Bulldog, Dynamite Kid, you know, Regal, those guys did set the trend for now.
Yeah, I agree, because you see a lot more of them coming out now. A lot of more European wrestlers coming over to the States now. And they're not just coming over and being mid-carders. A lot of them coming over and start to be big names over here.
Yeah, of course, man. But I mean, obviously, a lot of the younger guys, man, like obviously Butch, and oh god, and I was speaking about him recently as well. I keep forgetting his name, but he's currently on NXT at the moment, and an incredible wrestler who I can't believe to this day is still not on the main roster. What's his name? Magic J. One half. Oh god, of Mustache Mountain.
Is that it?
It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But yeah, there's still some incredible wrestlers, and obviously Nick Aldis, you know, the current SmackDown GM, who hopefully at some point will get back in the ring again. You know, so
oh, look about Butcher. Look at his tag team partner. Like, you know, he's coming from, I think he was is it a rugby player or something like that?
Rugby player as well. Yeah,
he was a rugby player. So like, I didn't even know he was, because I don't really follow rugby like that. So like, you know, looking at his history, being a rugby player, and even there's another guy who's in AEW as well. Is it Daniel Ogogo or something like that?
I'm not sure what his current status is in AEW, but yeah, he was in there for a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, he used to do track and field.
He was a boxer.
The boxer, is a boxer. Yeah. So like, you know, it's just a transition, you know what I mean? So that's how the future is. And then obviously you got all the Australians now coming over and dominating the wrestling sports now. So that is definitely, you know, a great thing, you know. And obviously the NXT champion is European, you know, so that there is a great future for European wrestling. But it's just a shame that the wrestling corporations in Great Britain and even in Europe ain't as popular as the WWEs, the AEWs, the Ring of Honors, and, you know, New Japan Pro or Noah and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that's something that, you know, needs to be notified and put out there properly.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna build something with Nick Aldis to do something? Because he was like wrestling like 6 months ago, and then all of a sudden he's a GM.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like his way in though, man. I think Triple H knows what he's doing. You know, he knows how good Cole this is. You know, and the amazing run he had in NWA recently. Yep. So you know, so it'd be interesting to see. Like I said, man, it's a matter of time. You know, I think it's just a starting block for him, man.
I feel like he's just hitting his prime right now.
Yeah, he's only what 36 or something like that.
Yeah, so he's still young.
Yeah, he's still in his prime, you know. But I mean, his character work is incredible. So we'll see how that develops on screen for the WWE, man. But you know, I mean, before we get into the I guess the current product as it is, man, what would you say was the point where watching wrestling went from just being a hobby for you to, you know, for you to getting more involved in, I guess, in the online community and, you know, doing podcasts and such?
So that was a few years ago. I just had my third kid, my daughter. Realized couldn't really do much anymore for a while. So they just actually put ECW, all the episodes on the network back then. So I was like, you know what? I've never seen them because, you know, back in the day, like when you caught it so late at night, half the time you fell asleep, like, damn, I can't watch it again, no reruns. So I was like, you know, I want to watch it from the beginning, you know, at the very beginning when they're down in, you know, Super Destroyers, Suicide Blondes, when they're at that bar in Philadelphia. And I came across a video of Sandman with the surfboard. And I was like, you know, I bet you no one's really seen this. So I was like, I couldn't post it on my own account because I probably get made fun of by my friends for still watching wrestling. So I, you know, created at that time was ECW Throwback. Started ECW page, started off like that way.
Okay. Oh, nice. And what did it blow up? Did it get to
it just came from there, just finding more and more cool stuff to post, and then just gradually kept growing from there.
Man, and did you start to build up a community with other, I mean, huge ECW fans? And
at the beginning there was a lot of people because there wasn't a lot back then. A lot of those ECW pages like that. And it was cool just to see people's reaction, like, holy shit, I never seen that. Oh man, I haven't seen that in like 15 years.
Wow. And did you also start collecting memorabilia as well, or?
I don't have so I have my boys. So I have two older boys, 8 and the other one just turned 7. So I kind of use them as an excuse to start buying stuff. They're not into it at all. So it kind of like, all right, well, I guess you don't like it. I guess I'll take it. So I'm starting now to slowly start, you know, because at the very beginning, you know, I had kids early. You know, you can't go out and buy a bunch of stuff and you got to buy diapers and formula and all types of stuff like that. But now I'm in a position where, hey, I got some extra bread. Let me start buying some stuff that I want to start buying. Nothing cool yet. Not yet.
Man, did you ever get a chance to meet any of the old ECW legends?
Who have I met? So I used to work at the airport. Checked in a couple people page I met. Funny story, she went to give me a couple bucks, and when I recognized her, she went in her wallet and gave me more money because I guess she didn't want to seem like she was cheap. Rusev and Lana, the whole time they spoke Russian in front of me. And I'm like, come on, I know you speak English, like at least pretend. Cesaro, I spoke to Cesaro. That was right when he was Cesaro's weird, man. He always had those ups and downs. Like a guy who should have been on top the whole time. He always had those moments where ups and downs. And I remember talking to him like, man, what's going on with you? You're the man. Why they got you doing stupid shit? And he was just, you know, ups and downs in the business. Brody Lee, I saw him at the airport. I walked up to him and I was like, excuse me, sir. And he thought I was going to ask, like, who the hell is this guy? And I was like, do you ever watch that Wife Beater? Because that was when he used to be Luke Harper. He just started cracking up. So I met a couple people. No one really from ECW yet, I don't think. Yeah. No one from old school like that. It's all new people, you know, just being at the airport, seeing them coming in and out of Orlando.
Right.
I think it's time for you to go back and work at the airport again, man. I might have to get a job at the airport myself now.
They come through all the time. I mean, where I live, NXT is 3 miles down the road.
Oh,
and then where they film at is like 5 miles down the road. So it's all right where I live at. So I saw Butch at Publix. I used to see Jump at Publix all the time at the grocery store down over here. So you see them all around town walking around.
Oh wow!
Well, one thing I want to ask you is about the name of your Instagram. What made you come up with the name The Wrestling Dud?
Dude, I don't know. So like I said, I started off as ECW Throwback, and I got kind of to the point where I was like, I want to post more shit than only just ECW all the time. You know, I watched wrestling. I watched everything growing up, so I had all these things that I wanted to rewatch again, and I wanted to share with everyone. So I was just kind of kicking around names, like, what am I going to do that's going to be kind of different? And I don't know where it came from, but hey, it came to me one day that wrestling. All right, let me just change it to that. That way, kind of give me the opportunity to post more than just ECW stuff all the time.
Now, I want to ask you something because myself to this wrestling podcast thing, I'm new because I'm a DJ, I'm a radio personality and stuff like that. My brother Scan do. He's in the music game as a rapper, but at the same time, he's been on other people's, wrestling podcasts as well in the past. How did you find us? because we just started this like not even over a month ago and started doing videos, and then for me controlling the page, I was just doing my little promotions, and then you came out of nowhere. Your page came out of nowhere, and I was like, "Wow, who's this guy? Who's this page? You got some good, cool content." So, how did you came across the Mega Powers page?
I have no clue. I don't know if you guys like the video or I came across one of your videos in my feed, but honestly, don't really remember. You come across many accounts all the time, but I think it's either through one of you guys liking the video or you just kept scrolling through my feed.
Probably that because probably be me then liking pages for no reason. But you know what I like about you? You put up some real cool content. Like even I got your page up right now. You know what I mean? You put up some real cool content. You know what I mean? Which I really do love. And I could really tell that you are a big fan of ECW because you put up a lot of ECW, and but I like it though. You know what I mean? I love how you what you do with your page with the write-ins and the right posts. But are you going to put up more actual wrestling matches? Because I see other pages, they put up certain matches and stuff like that, because you put up more of the commentary side, the side when the wrestlers are arguing or talking about another wrestler or stuff. So are you going to go into and put more of the actual certain classic matches?
Yeah, so I used to put in the ECW days when in the old page, I used to put a lot of matches up, but you only get so much stuff. A 10-minute limit on most of these sites, so no one's going to sit through a 15-minute clip to watch the whole thing. So I try to put stuff that matches that are under 10 minutes, I'll put them up, no problem. But when you get into the long ones, it's hard to kind of like sit down and try to clip a thing 15 minutes down to like fit something smaller. Because like I said, I mean, who's going to sit there and watch 15 minutes? For that, you go to YouTube if you're going to watch a whole shebang of that.
Right. So, you going through your clips and that, man, what would you say was like your biggest discovery that you may have missed, like the first time watching ECW, man? Were there like any like crazy spots or like interviews or behind the scenes things that you just picked up going through these clips?
I just found one interview with Sunny. She looks wasted and she's eating a banana. I got that on deck probably this week to post. I was like, what the hell is this? Because someone mentioned to me a couple years ago, like I've been looking for this promo forever. And like, it's hard to like find exactly what they're talking about in the span of 8 years with the shows or 10 years, however long it went. That one's a big one that's coming up. There's a lot of good stuff. The Dungeon of Doom stuff I love. It's so damn cheesy and cornball, but to me, I thought it was hilarious with Shark and even when Conan joined Zodiac. I mean, it's so damn cheesy, but I just thought it was hilarious watching all those videos.
Right. So who would you say was like your favorite wrestlers to watch in ECW?
RVD. I mean, RVD's a man. I love Lance Storm, man. For some reason, I love Lance Storm. I love the Impact players, probably because I love Don Marie more than anyone on there. But for sure, I love the Impact players. I love RVD. And Bill Alfonso, man, you got to love that whistle, that annoying-ass whistle, instant heat thing. And then Taz is another one, man. I mean, the guy was 5'0", but he was an animal. Like, you literally believe that he could destroy all those people.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So they showed ECW over there in the UK, or you had to go find them on tapes and stuff?
We used to have a cable channel called Bravo. And that's where I used to watch the ECW back in the day, man, the late 90s, but again, if I wanted to see pay-per-views, I had to get the video cassettes, but just like you, man, my favorite wrestler at the time was RVD. I thought he was invincible, man, until that time he broke his leg and I was like, oh my god, and then he had to give up the title.
He was like on a two-year run.
Yeah, man, it was an incredible run, man, and his matches, obviously, you'd never get tired of seeing him fight Jerry Lynn.
Lynn.
Yeah, they could run it back countless times, you know, and Jerry Lynn would never win.
Yep.
But
We always thought he had a chance.
yeah. You know, but you could easily see how they've influenced this generation of wrestlers, man,
Yeah,
based on
absolutely.
those matches. And I was so gutted, you know, how they treated him in WWE, because he should have been like main eventer from like the get-go, you know, based on his running. Just his move set, man. No one else did moves like RVD.
No
So
one.
creative, so inventive, you know. And people always fell for that spot with the Van Daminator, just like catch the chair, all right, boom, you know. But yeah, it was I would have
Even
been
I saw
cheering.
the Van Terminator for the first time when he jumped from ring post to ring post.
Oh my God, like it was mind blowing. Like it was like never seen anything like it. And it's like, how did you come up with that? You know, it's just like, can I jump from one side of the ring to the other?
Yep.
You know, but let me ask you this question. And you know, let's imagine the WWE reboot didn't happen, and you know, Paul Heyman was better with his finances. You know, where could you have imagined ECW like growing to the size of a WCW?
Yes and no. I mean, they'd have to tone down their style a lot, especially for the night. Well, actually, probably not, because I mean, WWE was doing a lot of crazy stuff back then. At least all the blood and gut stuff would have to go away a little bit. But yeah, I think I would have no reason why they couldn't. Their biggest issue is, like you said, it was poorly ran. So at some point, it's like, do I stay here and make a little bit of money, or do I jump and make a lot more money? And that's where the kind of difference was. I mean, you can only hold out for so long, so it's like, I need to start making money in this business. But I think if he had financial backing, I mean, there's no reason why they couldn't keep going and going and going.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. So I mean, obviously you had the offshoots with your CCW and other people that were trying to do their own versions of ECW, you know. And obviously with the closure of ECW, you said something about checking out some TNA shows. Where did you really go to after that to kind of get that ECW fix?
There was really no place. I mean, we kind of got looking at some of those ECW guys that ended up in WWE for a couple of years. You got a little bit of to me at the beginning of the ECW reboot, I didn't hate it. Of course, there's gonna be some cornball stuff because that's WWE. They're gonna toss that stuff in there. But I thought it had some, like Kurt Angle was an animal. I don't know if you remember him during his ECW run. That guy was a beast. Like he would go in there and demolish everybody. Even seeing Sandman there was cool. Like he was doing cool stuff. RVD was doing cool stuff. They had Sabu. Like he was in vignettes all the time, pushing him. But after that, I'm trying to think. After that, I think I just fell off.
They debuted CM Punk as well, right?
They debuted CM Punk as well. That's where he got big. So they had a lot of guys through there that went through there and became big.
You mentioned the Dudley brothers as well? Dudley boys?
Dudley
boys. Oh, I love the Dudley boys. First time I ever seen them put someone through the flaming table, I was like, what the hell is this?
Those guys was monsters.
Oh, yeah. And Joel Gertner, a great manager. His introductions was amazing.
Right. So in 2023, where do you land in the wrestling stratosphere, man? Are you more of a WWE guy or an AEW guy, or?
I watch both, but I'm always WWE born and bred. Even through the WCW days, like Raw only, I would switch to Nitro maybe for a minute or two and be scared that I was going to miss something on Raw and switch right back. But I'm always born and bred WWE. I'm watching AEW. I'm not caught up, but I watch it. But I'm born and bred, man, WWE.
Man. So what's your thoughts on how the business is run these days in the WWE?
I'm liking creative. I'm really like Shinsuke Nakamura, for example. Doesn't speak good English. So like they're doing now, have him speak Japanese. It separates him from everybody else. He's Japanese. No one else, like no other dude is there. Have him speaking it. Have him come off like a Japanese dude. Not have him try to be watered down speaking English. I love all the vignettes doing stuff. Introducing people. And I saw the one on Natalia. Like good for her. Like showcase who she is. Everyone knows her, but showcase them. I love those vignettes. I love the creative. You can tell it's more long-term storytelling. It's not just written on the fly. I love the direction they're going in. Kind of makes you nervous with TKO because it's a company that doesn't know wrestling that's coming in and taking over. So who knows what kind of decisions they're going to make. But I mean, so far they're heading in the right direction or continuing in the right direction.
What I could add to that is that, on Friday I watched SmackDown and they're really pushing the women's division now. And obviously with the emergence of of Oscar and her best friend, you know, with the you know, damage control. You know, when I saw that, like, I was literally, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, why the fuck did that woman join them? But like, that just shows the domination of the women's division when it comes to WWE that AEW hasn't really executed yet. So what do you think about, the women's division in, these corporations?
Well, I mean, you can't really fault AEW. They've only been around, 4 years? WWE was terrible with the women's divisions forever. They're good for a little bit there with Trish Stratus and Lita, but other than that, I mean, they're booked horrendously up until these last 5, 7, 10 years when Triple H got into NXT and started pushing them more. I'm loving it, man. I love the fact that it's diversity. We got more stuff going on. It's not just the same tired stuff going on all the time. And I'm loving the stables, man. I mean, I'm a huge stable guy. I was using the Nation Domination. I love when they fought Los Boricuas in the DOA. And I love the Heart Foundation. So I love, because imagine anywhere you go to work, you go to school, whatever it is, people click up. They're always going to click up. So why aren't they putting that on camera, showing who's hanging out, who's friends, who's got a group going on? So I'm loving what they're going on.
So one Christian, yeah, the Attitude Era, who was you, DX or NWO?
DX for sure, because again, I was a WWE guy. Love the NWO, but always gonna be DX. And my DX was the second version. That's what I love more. I love New Age Outlaws, X-Pac, Triple H, and China together.
No, 100%, man.
Yeah.
So I want to get a bit more into like, obviously nowadays people are happily coming out the closet and declaring that they're wrestling fans. Obviously back in the day it was a bit more undercover, but I mean, through that journey you get to meet some like these podcasts are just springing up everywhere now, you know. I mean, would you ever like tempted to start your own podcasts and, you know, just to explore your passion of wrestling more?
Yeah, I'm in the process of that, actually. I didn't want to push too fast into it. Wanted to come out prepared with some content, but I am looking into that. Hopefully starting next year, see something come out. And it's funny you said about people being more comfortable being wrestling fans. So again, wrestling fans since I was first grade, second grade, like you, kind of ashamed, hit it. No one really knew. Up until I want to say like 3, 4, 5 years ago, I actually wear wrestling shirts out in public now. Like that's all I have. That's all I wear now when I go out. But before it was like, it was a hidden secret. Like my buddies knew, but I didn't really bring it up because you don't want to get made fun of for watching wrestling. But it's crazy how more mainstream it is.
Yeah, man. I mean, off the back of that, you know, I mean, do you, in terms of like obviously going to see wrestling shows more now, man, do you get more support from like the missus? Is she more open to like, yo, do your thing, go, I'll support you, go see the shows? Or
now it's happening more and more. Because it's funny because I'm like the main breadwinner, and somehow I turned into the housewife recently because my wife got a new career. So I'm kind of doing both. You know, like I work 6 to 3, come home, get the kids from school, cook dinner, bathe them, and then she comes home at 5:36. So now I'm like, I need to start like you said. I need some nights on my own. You can't say nothing. Like right now, she was in New York City for the last 4 days on a work trip while I was at home with the kids.
Yeah. Oh,
but in the Florida scene, the indie wrestling Florida scene starting to blow up down here in Florida. There's a lot of nice promotions coming through.
Amazing, man. So with obviously how popular these events are outside of the States, man, would you ever consider maybe traveling to Europe or to another country to go and watch the WWE?
I mean, it depends on if the situation was right. Got to be in the future. You know, if I'm going to Europe, it's going to be at least a week or 2 vacation. It's not going to be no damn couple of days. But like I said, with 3 young kids, man, to leave them with someone for 2 weeks like that, like my parents and my in-laws, they love my kids, but they don't love them enough to watch them for 2 weeks right now. And I got to wait till they're a little bit older so I can, they can take care of themselves basically.
Yeah.
But absolutely, like I'm jealous, man. Like watching the All In and in the UK and watch like Backlash in Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican, and that looked like such a fun environment being in there that I'm jealous that I wasn't able to go to something like that.
Man, so you spoke about this podcast, man, but in terms of your online content, your Instagram and that, what would you say the future holds for you? And do you have any other thoughts of expanding, like going forward?
More original content. I'm hoping to shoot more of my own stuff. Putting more of my personality into wrestling. more of my opinions, more of my dumbass opinions, you know. But more of that is more original content, more putting myself out there, you know.
That's incredible, man. Magic J, is there anything else you want to add?
You know what? I'm just so happy to connect with such a like-minded brother like himself. He lives in America, and as you're the second interaction when it comes to the wrestling world of podcasts and all things wrestling that we've connected with, because you probably saw the couple posts what we put up on our page with women's wrestling talks. Shout out to those guys. Like, it's been only, as I said, it's been only a month, and people like yourself has got in contact with us or tapped in with us somehow, and we definitely will build that big relationship. You know what I mean? Because I've always wanted to go to Florida. I got a couple friends in Florida, and now we made a new friend in Florida. So
for a reason.
But so in the day, we need to get out there, and you can take us to the WWE wrestling school, and let's see who we can put to.
Sure, go pull us up with some NXT.
Yeah, I want to see Jade Cargill. That's the only person I want to see. I don't care about no one else.
Just wait outside with your banner.
Yeah, I'll wait outside with a bouquet of flowers or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll probably go to to the Ice Jewelers or something and get some jewels and say, yo, I know you got a husband, but here.
Well, you're gonna need a bit more than that, man.
Yeah.
A bit more than that, man. So, obviously being so close to NXT, man, do you get to go and see any live NXT? Or
I haven't in a while, but my wife's homegirl, she works at Full Sail where they do it. I just literally hit on my wife like, all right, time to start hitting her up for some tickets. Need to start going, because like I said, it's literally 5-minute drive from my house is where NXT's at.
Wow.
Oh yeah, this year coming, WrestleMania 40. Are we gonna see you there?
Where's WrestleMania at this year?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, nah. I've been to Philly, man. I don't really like Philly, man. No disrespect to Philly, but Philly's a special place, man.
That bad.
If I'm gonna go on vacation, man, away from the kids, it's not gonna be Philadelphia.
Oh man, I hear you, bro. I hear you, man. I mean, do you have any prediction, man? Will Cody finish the story?
I don't want to see him like not yet, but he has to. I mean, because he's starting to get played out, and I love Cody, but I mean, at some point you gotta do it, right? I mean, you gotta pull the trigger at some point. But then again, you have LA Knight too, so it's like you pull the trigger on him too. Like, there's so many top guys that they gotta push up again.
That's a good question, man. That's a good point, man. So if the people want to reach out, if our audience want to find you, man, what's the best way to get you on the socials?
That wrestling dude, DOOD on everything.
That's incredible, man. Wiso, I want to thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Appreciate me having on.
A pleasure having you on the show, man. And we can't wait to connect with you again in the future, bro.
Absolutely, fellas. Anytime.
All the best, brother. Take care, man. Until next time, brother.
You guys have a good night.
Two mega powers meeting here tonight.
The mega powers, brother.
The mega powers, yeah. Mega powers, yeah.